San Diego trash service transition, chaos and challenges for property owners. As the deadline for trash service in San Diego approaches, a significant number of residents who have lost access to city-provided waste collection find themselves in a precarious situation. The city's shift away from complimentary trash service is causing considerable disruption for property owners, homeowners associations, HOAs, and management companies responsible for approximately 21,000 properties that have recently been deemed ineligible for municipal service. This contentious transition primarily affects 225,000 single-family homes and small apartment buildings, which will soon be required to pay a monthly fee of $43.60 after enjoying decades of free trash collection. However, the individuals residing in the 21,000 properties that are no longer eligible for city service are grappling with even more significant hurdles, with many expressing concerns about potentially being left without any trash service at all. These residents have been given a mere few weeks to negotiate waste collection agreements with 5 private haulers, a complicated and often frustrating process that has included outright refusals from haulers, placements on waiting lists, and even last-minute cancellations of previously signed contracts. Property managers and HOAs report that the haulers are inundated with requests for new service, leading to claims that they lack the necessary resources, such as trucks and drivers, to accommodate the influx of new customers in such a short time frame. Currently, only about 20% of the properties that have lost city service, approximately 4,300, have successfully secured new arrangements with private haulers, with the city's September 1st deadline looming just over a month away. When haulers do provide service options, property managers often find that the costs are significantly higher than the city's new rates. In an effort to cut expenses, some property managers are compelled to transition from individual trash containers to dumpsters that serve entire complexes. However, this solution is not feasible for all properties, as some lack the necessary space for a dumpster or do not have adequate access for trucks to collect the waste. The managers of these newly ineligible properties, predominantly apartment and townhome complexes that exceed the 4-unit limit for city service, describe the process as frustrating, confusing, and time-consuming. Jill Johnson, treasurer of an HOA for an 8-unit complex in Ocean Beach, remarked, "This has been almost a full-time job for me for the last 2 months. These haulers are ill-equipped for this new volume of customers." Johnson has had to juggle multiple email threads with different haulers to negotiate service availability, pricing, timelines, and other essential details. Critics argue that the blame does not rest solely on the haulers. They contend that city officials should have ensured that the haulers had the capacity and willingness to take on new customers before initiating this transition. Robin Allen, who manages 5 complexes that are now ineligible for city trash service, expressed her frustration with the poorly planned process. "It's been quite the experience," she said, noting the difficulty in finding companies with sufficient capacity. "Some properties have no space for a dumpster, and landlords are left wondering, what do we do?" One of the most disheartening incidents involved Republic Services, one of the 5 private haulers, which backed out of a signed agreement with one of Allen's complexes at the last moment. "We were all set with a signed contract and ready to go," she explained. "They said they couldn't follow through and put us on a waiting list." Scott Eklund, an HOA board member for an 8-unit complex in South Park, reported a similar experience, stating that Republic also reneged on their transition plan without offering a spot on the waiting list. Republic Services declined to comment on these last-minute decisions. The other 4 haulers, EDCO, Universal Waste Systems, Ware Disposal, and Waste Management, also chose not to provide comments for this article. City officials have acknowledged the struggles faced by newly ineligible properties during this transition, but have reassured residents that there is no need for alarm. Andrea DeLeon, Deputy Director for Environmental Services, stated, "We always knew from the very beginning of planning that this could be a possibility. We want to reassure property owners that as long as they are in the active process of working with the city or a hauler, the city will not stop their service." DeLeon noted a recent increase in inquiries from residents, primarily regarding the transition to private haulers. There's a lot of change happening, and change takes time, she acknowledged. We're not going to be perfect, we recognize that. She suggested that part of the issue may stem from sticker shock, as property owners receive service quotes that are higher than expected. Some property owners are hearing back from a hauler, but they are not too happy with the cost or changing to a dumpster, she added. Delion explained that haulers may be hesitant to expand service in neighborhoods or on streets with few existing customers, as it may not be financially viable. Having a larger number of customers all along the same street is going to be a lot easier than having onesies and twosies on a street, she said. Because it's an open market, the haulers get to select what makes the most sense for their operations. The city opted for an open market approach to foster competition, hoping it would lead to lower rates and more service options. Complaints have been infrequent from businesses and larger apartment complexes that have been utilizing these haulers for years. Delion mentioned that the city could consider a model where all residents must use the same hauler, with the city negotiating fixed monthly rates. However, she emphasized that a competitive market has always been the preferred choice for city leaders. The city is actively collaborating with haulers to ensure a smooth transition. Delion assured that no one would lose service during this period, and no one would incur charges for the additional time they continue to receive city service beyond their deadline. We're not going to stop your service unless you have private hauler service in place, she stated. Nevertheless, property owners must provide evidence of rejection from private haulers to qualify for service extensions. Delion highlighted that the city staggered the deadlines to facilitate a smoother transition for newly ineligible properties. For instance, if the city had been collecting trash on Mondays, the deadline was July 1st. Tuesday customers had until July 15th. Wednesday customers until August 1st. Thursday customers until August 15th. And Friday customers until September 1st. Eklund, the HOA board member from South Park, noted that his complex's situation was further complicated by an unsuccessful appeal against the city's ruling declaring it ineligible. Although the complex consists of 8 properties, they are distributed across only 4 lots, the maximum number the city will serve. Eklund expressed concern that haulers might be charging higher rates due to the lack of leverage property owners have. We felt they were price gouging, he remarked. Ultimately, the complex hired a trash service broker and secured a monthly rate of $700 for the 8 properties, translating to $87.50 per property. This new fee will increase monthly HOA dues from approximately $500 to around $600. Johnson, the HOA treasurer in Ocean Beach, shared that her complex transitioned from individual cans to dumpsters to reduce monthly costs from $800 to $273. Another significant challenge for apartment complex owners is determining whether to pass the new trash fee on to their tenants. Park La Jolla, a complex with about 200 units in Bird Rock, was also declared newly ineligible for city service this spring, and has since signed a contract with Waste Management. Earlier this month, they notified all month-to-month tenants that their rent would increase by $20 per month starting September 1st. The notice stated, "The city has always provided trash service for free. The property will now be incurring the monthly cost of trash collection." City officials encourage residents to reach out with questions at 858-694-700 or via email at trash@sandiego.gov. For more information, the city's trash service updates can be found at sandiego.gov/trash service updates. San Diego Trash Portal Sign-Up Guide. Bin sizes, costs, registration help. Trash trouble in America's finest city. Navigating San Diego's new waste portal. Are you among the thousands of San Diego residents frustrated with the city's freshly launched residential waste collection services portal? You're not alone. Nearly 2 weeks in, the city is inundated with questions, sparking a mix of confusion and concern among its citizens. But here's where it gets crucial. Understanding the sign-up process is mandatory, and the deadline is looming. Top concerns uncovered. According to Jeremy Bauer, Environmental Services Assistant Director, the most pressing issues include 1. Bin size dilemmas, figuring out the right trash can size for your household needs. 2. Cost conundrums, grasping the pricing structure and its implications. 3. Portal puzzle, navigating the online registration system, which requires very specific information. The portal access conundrum. Many residents have attempted to log in, only to find they're missing a vital piece of the puzzle. The solution lies in the yellow section of the mailer, sent out by the city. Check your mailbox, especially towards the month's end. You'll need 2 critical pieces of information. Possessor parcel number, APN, also found on your tax bills. Unique portal code, generated specifically for this purpose. Choosing your bin. Size matters. Not recycling. After setting up your account and opting for notifications, it's time to select your trash bin size. Pro tip from Bauer: if your current size works for you, stick with it. Most households use the 95-gallon container, while singles and elderly households often prefer smaller options. Monthly rates breakdown: 35-gallon trash bin, $32.82 a month, first year. 65-gallon container, $38.94 a month. 95-gallon bin, $43.60 a month. Important note: selecting a smaller container reasons, you'll be asked to confirm you understand the standard size is 95 gallons. Rates are based solely on trash bin size, not recycling container choice. Financial assistance on the horizon. The city is working on a financial assistance program for eligible residents, backed by $3 million from the general fund. You can also voluntarily donate through the portal. Deadline alert, September 30th. Action required. Make your selections by this date. Inaction consequence: automatically receive new 95-gallon trash and recycling containers. Tax bill impact: a $523.20 charge will appear on your October tax bill for the first year, with adjustments for different container sizes reflected in fall 2026. The fate of your current containers. Cannot keep. Even if they're in excellent condition, all bins, except newer green organics containers, will be collected, shredded, and recycled into new containers. New container colors. Trash bins will be gray, and recycling containers will be lighter blue. Delivery timeline begins in October, with a rollout expected to take several months citywide. Lost or damaged containers can be replaced at no cost before the transition. Not tech-savvy? No worries. Phone registration. Call 858-694-7000 to register with customer service. Have you encountered any unforeseen challenges during the sign-up process? Share your experiences. How do you believe the city could further assist residents in this transition? Voice your thoughts in the comments below.